Hello. Hope we have been joined by a few people. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to one more interesting session of Ask Me Anything. We are joined by Mr. Vishal Mehta, who is a chartered market technician and a founder of MarketScanner. Unfortunately, Kapil Dhama is not able to join because of some circumstances. We'll try to get him on board next time around or later whenever he's free. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Vishal Mehta.
Hi
Vishal.
Kapil, how are you? How are you?
How are you
Good
doing, Vishal?
morning. Good morning, Anil. Good morning, Tushar. Good morning, Aditya. Good morning, Nitish. So good to see you all. Good to see you all. So yes, as Kapil just mentioned that unfortunately Kapil, because I was super excited to ask a lot of adjustment questions to Kapil Dhama, and uh, we don't worry. I'm going to not leave him. I'm going to meet him in Goa. So we will be sitting by the beach and we will have this ask me anything by the beach. Okay. So we can but till that point of time there are so many things that we are want to share, and we will talk about it. I think so a lot of questions have started already flowing in, so you can start posting your questions if you have anything. Otherwise we have also got a bunch of questions which may be helpful to you, but we want to take first questions who are being live with us and trying to um, you know can do this. So Anil has put it very nice. Kapil Dhama was supposed to talk about the adjustment. We just did the adjustment by continuing with this session. We just did a brilliant adjustment.
Just now.
Okay,
Yeah.
Kapil. So we can start with the question.
Okay. First, I'm taking one live question from Tarsan Francis, and he's asking, please talk about smart straddle strategy, please.
Interesting question, Tarsan. Okay, now let me talk about the smart straddle strategy. What I have realized, okay, what I've realized while trading these famous straddles and strangles, a lot of our money was actually made not on the non-directional market. It was actually made on the directional side of the market. So we were always trying to find some ways. We were always trying to find some ways where this trend can be captured. Now that's where the whole origination of smart strategy came in. Is saying that we want to sell when the market is actually going in a trend, not when it is a sideways. So what we did was, okay, we can play with your standard 920, 930, 1030, whatever you want to play with. But what if we only sell when there is a direction? And the best way of a direction is a price momentum. So what we did is, if we don't sell at the current price, but if we sell after a certain point of time, it's like buying a 52-week high stock or an all-time high stock. There is a trend. Similarly, for the option, and a lot of people say, okay, option strategies are mean reversion. I believe the option selling is a brilliant case of a trend following, because it is always following to zero. You know, Inherently the options nature is going to go to zero. So that's why the option selling is like a trend following for me. So what if I put some barriers into the trend following, like if it goes by 10% or if it goes by below by 15% from the existing price, then I will sell it. And trust me, it has helped us to diversify our existing smart the straddles that we are selling, and it has been very helpful. We have done few session on smart straddle strategies. I think I did it with Semco Security. I did it with something in Traders Carnival. I did the similar in one or two other places. So maybe we can put the link of those videos below this channel. Yeah.
Yeah, and Vishal, I think in the 5 paisa video also you discussed the smart straddle strategy. Is it?
5 paisa? No, I don't remember. But Semco, I know that we did it for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. So we have one more question from King Khan. What kind of uncorrelated strategy should I match with squeeze momentum swing strategy?
Interesting. So when I understand from your question, the squeeze momentum strategy is basically your Bollinger Band has been squeezed, or there is a volatility contraction, and there are ways of defining the squeeze. One will be you can use percentage B. You can percentage B when it goes below. That means there is a squeeze in the market. You can use Bollinger Band. If you Google on the internet, there is something called as Bollinger Band and Keltner channel strategy, where whenever the Keltner channel actually enters into the Bollinger Band, that time you can define it as a defined as a squeeze. There is another way of defining the squeeze is more of NR4, narrow range 4. That means today's high minus the low is the lowest in the last 4 days, or NR7 is means today's high minus the low is the lowest in the last 7 days. That means there is a squeeze in the momentum, and then there is a breakout. Now, what will be a counter trend strategy? It's a very good, interesting question. Maybe I can use a paint for the first time in this Ask Me Anything. Let me just kind of share my screen, and just let me know if you are able to see the screen. Um, so let me know once you are able to see the screen, Kapil. You can see
Yes,
that screen.
I'm able to
We
see.
okay. Maybe we can hide the question, so in the bottom half also people can
Oh,
see this. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Now, one way of defining the, let's talk it from a Bollinger Band perspective. Say, assuming the prices were like this, and there was a squeeze, and your bars are like this, and this is how we define the squeeze, right? And then there was a breakout, and ideally, you want this breakout to continue. That's what I have understood. If from your question is a Bollinger Band squeeze momentum breakout strategy, how can I kind of play a contrary strategy? What you can do is there are two ways of doing this. When you go long, okay, and there is a breakout on the upside, and usually we know 70% of the breakout fails. What will happen is the prices will revert back and goes below this. Okay, so it had a breakout, you went long, hit your stop loss because you have put stop loss somewhere below the bar of the squeeze, and once it goes below down, you start shorting the stock. So that's one way of kind of having a contra position. Another way of doing something on NR4 basically is creating a contra position. See, assuming this was your high minus the low, okay, this was the fourth, and this was something like NR4 pattern. Usually we say you mark the the NR4 bar. If there is a breakout on the upside, you go long. If there is a breakdown, you go low. But what if you go long here and then the breakout fails? In fact, you can actually go cover your long position and go short over here. That becomes like a counter position. Obviously, it is not always the uncorrelated strategy, but it is more of the counter strategy to your existing strategy. And to answer your question in a very particular manner, what is a counter trend strategy? Honestly, I haven't thought about it, but this is something that I used in the past where there was a breakout, and when the breakout fails, it goes the other side. I actually sell them. So, this is how I use it. Hope this kind of information may be helpful to add to your arsenal. Yeah, Kapil.
Yes, sure, Vishal. We have
I
another
will stop
question
sharing
from.
the screen. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, we have another question from Murli. He's saying, kindly suggest. Yesterday I was in profit, good around 1330, and last down move completely wiped out. How to handle this?
Murali, I'll just share you my personal story in one of our account. Okay, we were up by 2,10,000. I don't put out MTM screenshot, but I'm just trying to give you some numbers. Okay, 2,40,000 in one of the account, and all of a sudden, when this 130 move came in, it came down to 140. Okay, and in your case, it completely wiped out. There have been instances we have been positive to negative, and it has happened. The only way to handle that, Murali, is to believe in the system. And I know it may be sounding like a philosophical question, a philosophical answer, but trust me, I've been doing this for a long period of time, and what we have realized that one particular day has so much of impact on our mind, but we forget that if we would have followed this strategy many times, Okay. uh, on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis, that would have definitely helped us. That would have definitely helped us. And I would encourage you to go through a few of my presentation where I've talked about law of large number, and the full credit goes to Madan, because he introduced me to this concept of law of large numbers. When you trade long enough, okay, when you trade long enough, this will negate out. Why? What do you mean by it will negate out? It means you always remember the painful scenarios. We tend to forget the happy thing. In our psychology, we tend to remember the negative emotion more. At
Yeah.
130, your wipeout happened of your profit. But there have been days after 130, if you would not have squared off till 330, you would have made a fantastic money, big money. That time you would have thought, okay, boss, this is the system which gave me money, or I'm very smart. And we will easily forget that. But because we turned into a completely loss, a profitable to a loss making, it will remember in our mind. And tomorrow when 130 move comes two times, the third time you will square off your position, and remember that the third time from 130 to 330, it will be the biggest trending move, and you will be loser in three occasion. Not one occasion, two occasion, you're loser on three occasion, because first two time you lost because of looking at 130 candle going reversal. Third time you book it because you didn't wanted to have that loss of 130. But that day it was the most profitable day from 130 to 330, and you lost in that also, and that time you will never become profitable.
Yes, Vishal. I also had similar experiences. So I think it has more to deal with psychological point of view rather than the system. If the system
And
is profitable in the
and
long
if,
term.
if there is small caveat that if I want to give it, trail your stop losses. Ideally, in a stock or a future, what we have realized, trailing doesn't work. But if you are trading option, because option is more of a trend following in nature, going towards the zero, your trailing may help you a lot to kind of use a little bit of comfort of your volatility on your M2M.
Okay. So my gaming club has a similar kind of question. Please shed some light on losses, profit acceptance, and psychology.
It took me a while. Okay, my gaming, I'll be very honest, it took me a while to accept the, forget about the losses, to also accept the profit. There have been days, and I'll be honest here, when we have seen the profit, I have to actually hold my hands, not to kill the algo, because the profit was so much for my psychology to also manage sometime. So there is always good side and the bad side. Profit acceptance will come into two ways. First of all, Kiruba Karan, again my good friend, he had shared one story about a bull lifting, right? He talks about a guy called Milo who lifted the bull. He was actually a calf, and then he lifted every day, and then he became a bull. So you have to accept that whether in this domain I'm okay with it, this loss I'm okay with, and continue for a while, and then you just little bit increase your risk exposure, and then you remain in that phase for a while, then you increase your risk exposure even little more. Every day you keep on increasing your exposure little by little. That is one way of handling the profit and loss acceptance. Second way of accepting the profit and the loss acceptance is the only way I know of, that I have benefited from, was actually go through at least two drawdowns. Okay, when you go through two drawdowns, like a 10% or a 15%, and when you recover back, your confidence on the system goes multifold. Okay, I remember in 2020 November and December, I went through a drawdown. Even if we are so psychologically strong, even we are human beings, we also go through that emotion of whether my system is stopped working, whether I'm able to handle those drawdown. But come Jan Feb, we recovered our profit, and we were in positive. That gave me another level of acceptance. Then another, I think so, there was something around June 1 month or July 1 month, there was a negative month for us. And because we are mainly option sellers, usually a negative month is not very common to us, right? So when you have 1 or 2 months of negative month, but you recover from those drawdowns, that actually puts you into a very good position. and there is no other better way of going through the drawdown and recovering from the drawdown to kind of have the profit and loss acceptance.
Yes, Vishal. I had a similar experience in November of 2020. So, having a drawdown and getting out from it, I think there can be no better experience psychologically to handle a strategy than to experience the drawdown yourself while trading the strategy.
Yes, that is so true, Kapil. That is so true.
Okay. Now we have a question from Anil Kumar. Please suggest some trend following system.
Anil, I think so. Trend following best system that I can suggest you in a trend following buying a 52 week or on all time high with a super trend as your trailing stop loss. That's one of the best trend following strategy that I have come across. Okay, just go find out which are the stocks hitting all time high and just put a super trend as a trailing stop loss 10,2, 10,3 depending on your risk appetite. Do the risk management. If your stop loss gets triggered, you don't lose more than 2% of your capital and you are in a good hand. Obviously, you can have a filter of market that if the market is below 200-day moving averages, take out of your trend following system because mainly we are long only. Okay. And if the market is below 200-day, usually you will not find many stocks hitting an all-time high, but even if they move or a 52-week high or an all-time high, they will tend to have a fail breakout. So the most important thing is buy all-time high with a super trend as your stop loss.
So yeah, this is one of your favorite strategies to buy all-time high.
I trust me, I may, and people have laughed at me, but I've actually turned a decent amount of corpus just buying an all-time high because let's think from this perspective. Where is the support and resistance if you're looking at the chart? Demand and supply, right? The tops and the bottoms. So every trader knows okay, in the past, ITC when it came to 200 became a support. When it went to 260, it became a resistance. But all of us, ITC, I'm just putting number, I don't know what is the all-time high. All of a sudden, ITC goes to 1000, 1200. Okay. Nobody knows where to sell. Nobody knows where to sell, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah.
true.
Sorry, yeah. So, this is how it is.
Okay. So we have question from Bhavesh Bajaj. He's asking any 920 kind of system which is reasonably profitable on Tuesday after considering 2% slippage on stock.
I think so. We will have another round of session with Nitish on this. Um, I don't know. We have running our strategy mainly focuses on um, Wednesdays and Thursdays. I may not be the right guy, but yeah, if you put it on the Twitter, I'm thinking and tag Stockmark onto it. Hopefully, Nitish will run some numbers and tell you which is the best one on Tuesdays.
So and now 920 is in trend. So people are asking 920 related questions. So
This
Mauli
is a
Dharan.
brilliant question. Okay. Can you just repeat this question? Okay.
Okay, Molly Dharan is asking how long 920 short straddle will work on intraday.
Okay. First of all, you don't have to call me sir, but yeah, there is a big debate happening between whether we should be calling sir or not, and we have been. But yeah, it is our human nature, and we discussed that. But you don't have to be calling us sir. I'm just Vishal. I'm not trader. Um, Important thing, I was with one of the trader Jagan yesterday, and we were discussing all this. And this is my philosophy, okay? And I can be completely wrong. Okay, I can be completely wrong, but this is my philosophy of why 920 straddle works until when it will continue to work. First philosophy of me why 920 straddle works is basically we are not a 24 by 7 market. We are not a 24 by 7 market. So what happens is once the market closes at 3:30 and when the market opens at 9:15 the next day, there is a lot of overnight information that comes in that you as a trader cannot benefit from or take an advantage or hedge yourself. Assuming you had sold a put option and Russia attacked Ukraine, as we know, and you had a put sold position. Okay, next day you cannot, like, during the night until the morning 9:15 you can't do anything about it. So what will happen is at 9:15, 9:16, 9:20 till 9:20, everything will try to cover their positions, right? So the volatility actually expands big time, and as the days progresses, the volatility starts shrinking because the volatility has a nature of mean reverting. Whereas in US market is 24 by 7 market. And if you would have sold a put and there is an attack, what first thing you will do is you will sell a future in the 24 by 7 market. Now, once you sell your future in the 24/7 market, and when the market starts coming down, you are still very comfortable because you have sold a future and you have a put sold position in front of it. So you will not go in the morning to kind of create that hedging position or cover your position in the morning. So that is the one important reason I believe that 9:20 will work till we don't have a 24 or like a market till 12 o'clock, like a commodity market. Second thing that I think so 9:20 will continue to work till the interest rate in the Indian scenario actually goes down. If we are at an inflation of 8-9%, your interest rates will be at 8-9%, right? Whatever the inflation, and what is the interest rate? So my borrowing cost is 8%. If my borrowing cost becomes say 1%, somehow I can put as many trade as on call and put options selling straddles because
Mhm.
my borrowing cost is only 1%. So if I'm an option seller, I would actually look for at least 8% to make for my borrowing cost, and then maybe 2 or 3% of my whatever profitability that I want to generate. But if my borrowing cost is 1% or 0% in US, I can put all my straddles in the world by borrowing at 0% and putting at 1% or 2%. So there will be literally no theta in between. Okay, there will be more of a delta move. So these are the two things, Mauli, that I think we will continue till we have a 24 by 7 market, or our inflations or our interest rates are high at around 8-9%. If they go down, there is a high possibility that 9:20 will stop working.
Sure, Vishal, very well explained. So we have one more question from Tamil Selvan. He's asking, can you please talk about your favorite algo execution platform? If we have multiple accounts, which platform is best? Also, please talk about your execution method. Thanks.
So, Selvan, the best and my favorite algo execution platform is our own in-house execution platform. Okay, so we have developed our own in-house algo execution platform because we have a different set of requirements. When we have a different sets of requirement, we have customized our in-house algo to manage the manage our internal accounts. How do we hedge it? How do we trade them? We have a way of defining that if I'm putting a hedge first, so every just before shooting the straddle order, we will start buying the hedges first for say 10-second or 20-second earlier. We get a confirmation, and once then we put the selling order, assuming that our first leg got executed, the buying leg on the put side, but the second leg of say call side did not got executed, the hedge one, it will automatically square off the buying leg also. Or similarly, if I'm selling a straddle and one straddle went in, but the second leg got cancelled due to the margin issue, it will square off the first position. So these are the small nuances as an execution platform. You talk about, and I talk about my favorite execution method also, that the risk management is much more important. And I've been telling everywhere that in discretionary trader trading, the trader is the edge. Okay, in systematic trading, I'll repeat it one more time. In the discretionary trading, the trader is the edge because that's the thing, right? And in the systematic trading, your technology, your execution platform is the edge because you will always run a profitable system. But the day assuming there was a big move like a Sitaraman day, or I'll give you my personal example. This Thursday, our broker went down and that was supposed to be our biggest profitable day. Although we have a redundancy systems, but there are certain things which you cannot have a backup of. So we tried to have a backup of brokers and everything, but we were not able to move our fund from one broker to another broker. So that way you have to keep on have a systems execution platform backup for everything.
Okay. Yes, Vishal. So we have another question from Sayantan Kundu. He's asking a very good question, that how to handle Fridays because decay is so low and SL hitting probability is very high. Backtest also shows low profits on Friday. So I guess
Sayan,
he's an
yeah.
option seller.
Yeah, so the going by the question, I can make out is an option seller. Brilliant point. Sayan, I have a question for you. Are you in the market to keep yourself busy or to make money? Okay, just think of this question. We, being a systematic trader, and I have been butchered many times in the past, that Vishal, you only trade Wednesdays and Thursdays. You are keeping, we are keeping our money ideal for Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. How much more return you could have generated? And I asked them, I asked everyone a question like this. Okay, tell me you're trading on Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, and Wednesdays and Thursdays. How much return you have generated? And he says that I generated about 3%. And I say I only traded Wednesday and Thursday and made 3.5%. Which one is better? Do you want to make broker happy or yourself happy? So,
Obviously,
yeah, sorry, Kapil. Yeah, obviously ourselves, right?
ourselves.
So, it is you only are your answer is in your question because there is no decay. Stop loss is rating very high, and it also shows.
He's in the
Uh,
money.
so it's to make money. Yes. So think about this. What I've just talked about. We are here to make money. So it is not. If your question is why in Friday we are not making money, stop trading options or selling options on Friday. Simple.
Okay. I have uh, I have a question from Anil Kumar. He's asking, please provide some profit trailing methods in my backtesting. Without trail, always have overall profit than trailing. Means he is trying to ask that without trailing, his profits are more. So,
Anil,
how
yes,
about it?
yes. So obviously, without trailing, we have no. But for option selling, we have found that our returns when we have started trailing in options, our profit had reduced down a little bit. Okay, our profits did came down a little bit, but our max drawdown actually reduced by half. So what we said is our car over MDD, okay, compounded annual return divided by the max drawdown actually went up. If you're talking about in the stocks, okay, or in the future, honestly we tried with many permutation and combination with for trailing for stocks and futures. I'm talking about trailing did not help. It actually deteriorated the system. It just gave you a calmness of mind, but it actually reduced the profitability and maybe increased sometimes the drawdown. So in fact our car over MDD actually came down. So it is the comfort of what you have it. So if you're trading trailing doing option, obviously in option buying it makes sense to trail. Maybe you can put 10,2 or 10,3 as in super trend of your buying option, but for selling also you can do similar kind of stuff, or you can have a trailing on the option. If option moves in my favor by 5 rupees, then you trail my stop loss by 5 rupees. If it moves by 1 rupee, you would move it by 1 rupee depending on your risk appetite. But yeah, so this is how you can talk about it. So, I have one more question. One second. Okay, Kiru has already asked. After that, I want to answer one question which has been asked
Okay,
in
yeah.
the session.
Yeah, we have
So,
Bakaran Rajendran
oh my
asking a
God. Hi, Kiru. How are you?
question from my side, which is more tough: handling our own funds or handling other people's funds? Please share your thoughts.
Kiru, I think so. We have sailed in both the boats in past. Um, let's. It goes into psychology. Okay, it actually goes into the psychology of how you want to take that up. The best answer is handling own fund any given day. Okay, any given day, because you don't have to tell anyone. You are your own boss. It has its advantage and disadvantage. Advantage is you don't have to tell anyone. That means you can stick to your system for a longer period of time, even if it is volatile. The disadvantage is you don't have any boss. Okay, and you can go into a spiral of just making those mistakes again and again and again and again because you are not reporting to anyone. So being a boss of yourself or managing your own fund, the advantage is your disadvantage. Now, how you look at it or how you take that up, it's up to individual personality. Okay. Now, managing other people's money, okay, that's another different ball game. Okay. Again, the same thing. What is your advantage is your disadvantage. In terms of if you are making money for yourself, why can't you make money for the others? And obviously you will be in a position to make money for the others and get benefit out of it. And I read a book called as Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? They talked about the other people's money, and it may sound like a cliche or kind of a scam, other people's money. But talk about Warren Buffett. If he's the richest man, why he's running the Berkshire Hathaway? He's the richest man in the world. Why does he need money for the thing, right? Let's talk about Jim Simons, right? Why is he's the best hedge fund manager in the world? Why he wants to raise the money? So it all boils down to the individual trader's psychology. So that's my take on it. I Okay, so that's Kiru. I hope I have answered your question. Thanks for that question. So let me just get this question because that is one important one to answer. So we don't shy away from telling if something doesn't work, because in the past not all the strategies that we have performed. So obviously we will backtest and give you the number. And a lot of people say that your strategy doesn't work. Fair enough. Okay, maybe it may not. There are two or three critical questions that needs to be answered. When people say to me that, sir, I've followed your strategy and I have lost money, and in the past I have actually called for the, now I've stopped doing it, I've called for their trading log of the strategy, and we ran with our backtest, and we figured out, although the client was saying that we were following your strategy and we lost money, in the backtest it made money. Then there could be reasons for it. When client says we lost money, have you taken each and every single trade every freaking day, every minute with a stop loss without failing? And then you come tell me, yeah, okay, KKY strategy has failed. Okay, I'm ready to accept it. But many times I've seen some of the trades which are not part of the strategy. And when we question back, saying that, sir, this was my trade, or I've booked my trade early because I was fearful and everything. So I appreciate that strategy does not work. So that's one frame of question. You have to think about it. Secondly, when you take a strategy, someone's strategy, yes, follow it. But we always believe that we are trying to give you a framework on which you can build your own strategy. We don't want you to take our strategy and just blindly follow it. If you do that, okay, there are people who do it, but I believe that you should not do that. You should take a strategy, improvise it, make it onto your comfort zone, and then trade it. And that's how I think so the success will come. Because if you're following someone else's strategy, there is a very high probability, like you are going through a drawdown, there is a very high probability they will lose money. So it's both of the thing. Okay, your question is related to drawdown, not related to loss. That I completely accept. We will, but you said I have not made any money, so that comes down to the loss, not on the drawdown. But we will check with our numbers, and hopefully we will put it out on the social media how the FTG has done. And guys, strategies can work and can stop working in the future. So you have to be, have a stop loss on the strategy as well. Like a discretionary trader, he doesn't make money all the time. Strategy is just a way of doing things.
Okay, Vishal. So, are you looking for any questions or should I fire one
No,
for
no,
you?
I'm done with the question, but there is a big interruption that has happened. I got a bell, and nobody's here, so I have to just take. Maybe you can answer a few questions on my behalf. I'm sorry, guys. I have to take this one. Just a second.
Sure, sure, sure. Yeah. So, Vishal will be joining in a minute or two. Until then, you can post your questions.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
So, yeah, we have a question from Webhub who is asking what is the maximum drawdown to consider with respect to backtest?
Again, Vaibhav, depends on your strategies. If you're doing, if you're doing something like, um, kind of option selling, then I think so 10-15% is a good drawdown number that you want to curtail to. If you're doing an option buying strategy, you can have drawdown as high as 50%. If you're doing a long short futures, then again the drawdown falls between 30 to 40%. So it all depends on your it depends on your style of trading and everything. Okay. And another thing that I think so, one of the Twitter trader Ankit, I don't remember his Twitter handle right now, but we'll put it out. But he put out a very good article recently on Twitter where he said like when do the 920 straddle will fail, and he has put out some statistics numbers, which is very interesting article. So maybe you would want to search for that.
Sure, Vishal. I have a question from Ravi Prasad who is asking I keep hearing from all successful traders on YouTube that 4% per month is too good. But my question here is 4% excluding brokerage and income tax?
Um, it's a debatable one, Ravi. Don't ask all these controversial questions. Jokes apart, I don't know what are their expectation for me. If I make 2.5% per month after brokerage and or 2% also, I consider myself to be having a good month. So my ranges between 2% to 2.5% net in my hand. I don't care how much gross do I make, because that gross has irrelevant to me, because I'm going to always talk about the net. Okay. So maybe 4% gross, if they are making 4% per month, net month, heads off to you. And I know few of the traders who does that, but that also comes at a cost. Okay, always remember that that comes at a cost of your max drawdown, because when we trade also, we take the margin amount to 1.5 times the historical drawdown. So a lot of our money is lying ideal. I can easily bump up my return to 3%, 4% by just removing that drawdown number and put uncorrelated strategy to match lower the drawdown. But the fact of the life is there will be drawdowns. So to answer your question, if you ask me practically on a large capital, if you are generating 2.5% per month, on a CAGR basis, maybe there will be month where you will make a minus 2%, and there will be month you will make 6%, and somewhere 2 to 3% is a good after net of expenses. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, Vishal. Jagdish Mahajan is asking any new intraday strategy can we expect from Market Scanner team for cash segment?
We are working on it, Jagdish. Yeah, we finding after beside the mean reversion strategy, the intraday short, I haven't been able to come out with any good strategy on the cash segment on intraday basis. There are few reasons also. First, the leverage has gone out of the window, and secondly, you know the cost of doing business in the intraday cash segment is actually very high. And when we find for the same amount of money, we are able to generate more return with a lesser drawdown. So our focus has completely shifted over there to make more money with a lesser drawdown. But yeah, eventually if things start settling down, So we are always in constant lookout for new strategies. And maybe Kapil is the testimony for trading, trading this intraday short only strategy for the longest period of time that I know of. So Kapil, you want to share something on those lines, or anything that you have seen on the strategy side?
Yes, I would say that I've been trading the intraday mean reversal strategy for more than a year now. And just now we discussed that in November of 2020, we went through a huge drawdown, and that drawdown actually has increased the conviction in that strategy that much for me, that
Okay.
now I can trade that strategy for a longer period of time, because I have seen psychologically as well as uh, on my system, I have seen that I have made losses, then again I have come back to profitable days. So yeah, I think. And also one more thing, I think in Traders Carnival you would be coming up with something interesting. So I
Yeah.
think Jagdish, you must stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Sure. So we have a question
Can
from
you guide
Prasid
us? Are
Lonikar.
Prasen, hi Prasen. Can you guide us straddle or strangle after 1 p.m.? What our experience has taught us, Prasen, is the earlier that you hit your straddles and strangles, the more the chances that you make money with a lesser drawdown. Usually, you want to trade this 1 p.m. Straddles and strangles uh, because you want to capture the V-shaped days or a V-shaped recovery day or a M-shaped days or a W-shaped days, right? What you can do is what Nitish did brilliantly with StockMark was introduce a concept called as wait and trade. So what you want to do is at 1 p.m. just decide whatever the time, put certain percentage above and below, and if there is a reversal day, only one side of the trend you will be able to capture. So something that I'm putting a seed in your mind, you can start playing with that seed and trying to grow as a tree.
Okay, Vishal. So I'm looking for a question. So Amaram Shivakumar is asking, what is the ideal capital one should start with for selling options?
A lot of people will tell you you require 1.5 lakh for selling an option. The answer is no. Okay, my minimum requirement for going into selling option is minimum 12 lakhs. Minimum. Why I say that is basically you would want to run at least two or three strategies to survive in the market. Okay, to survive in the market, you need at least two, three, four strategies. So for me, my ideal capital for jumping into an option is 10 lakh rupees. And there is no mathematics or this thing. You can always debate that we can do with 5 lakh also good. You can do it with 1.5 lakh also. But my comfort, if somebody asks me when he should start selling into getting into an option selling, is into the 10 lakh rupees. And eventually also think about this. You don't have to put 10 lakh upfront. You can buy stocks in this fall. You can buy HDFC Bank. You can buy Finance. Put them as pledge. Take a haircut of 80% or 70% or 30% haircut, and then pledge them and put only 30% as in collateral and try to generate more return from that. So be more innovative.
Yes, Vishal. So we have a question from Jagdish again. It is wise to book profit around 95% premium instead of waiting for option to become zero on expiry day, because while backtesting, I have not considered this target profit.
Jagdish, brilliant question. We have been debating ourselves also internally on this. Okay. I think so. The only time one of the expiry we broke the rule. Okay. So 99% we followed the rule till the end, till it became zero. But there was a day where we had the highest ever intraday profit in our entire, uh, you know, career of our trading of systematic. And the option became like half of 50 paisa, 75 paisa, 1 rupee. And that was the day, I think so, we broke the rule of putting a target. But my firm belief is, okay, what you should do, and we are also going to work on it, is after it becomes, say, 90%, you may want to trail your stop losses very aggressively. Maybe if you are putting say 5 is to 5 trailing, or 10 is to 10 trailing. After, say, if you sold an option at 100 rupees and it has become 10 rupees, okay, so after, like, 90% of the decay, what you can do is start trailing one by one, or maybe 1 rupee pe 3 rupee ka trailing, yeah, 1 rupee pe 5 rupee ka trailing. So you start trailing, because this 555%, if you are trading multiple options every, like every Thursday, matlab I'm talking about Thursday only, because 95% Thursday ko hi hoga. So
Mm-hmm.
fourth Thursday, 52 Thursdays, quite a few, that 5% will add into your kitty, which will at least take care of your transaction cost, your hedging cost. So think about that. Think about innovative ways of how you can capture those 5% till the end. And obviously, as Ed Psychotas said once, the good trader, good systematic trader knows to follow the rule to the last point. And the good systematic traders also know when to break the rules. Okay, you also need to know when to break the rules, and that was the reason we took it when we our psychology to for a day also moved.
Okay. Yes, Vishal. We have
What do you say? What would you suggest rather than Kapil? What is your experience?
uh, my experience. You are asking about my experience?
Yes, about that 95% or leaving the 5% on the
Uh,
table.
my experience would be that 9 out of 10 times you would rather get the 100%. I believe in following it till the end.
Okay, wow. So you are a full hardcore systematic trader. Awesome.
So we have one another interesting question from Ravi Prasad. If I have a good strategy and making consistent profit with the same strategy, is it advisable to go for a personal loan or get funds from known circle and trade if I'm good at risk management too?
The first answer is personal loan, no. And why? Because I will tell you, when you have a personal loan, okay, you can get sick, okay, you can get not feel well, but your EMI on your personal loan will not get sick. Your strategy will go through a drawdown. Your EMI on your personal loan will not go through a drawdown. There is a very high tendency that you will break the law when you are involved with your personal loan. I'll be very honest. Once, if it is other people's money, obviously SEBI compliance and all that comes into the picture, but once that is taken care of, yes, ideally you can take money from the other people, but make them aware about the risk involved. Okay, make them about the risk involved, and if they are happy with the risk involved, then only think about taking it. Because as Kiruba asked a very valid question, what is better, to manage on fund or someone else fund? So I told you, managing own fund is the best thing to do, because you are not responsible to anything. But if you are, there are a lot of big traders who are there on the Twitter, who are putting screenshots that I even my calculator becomes, kind of laughs at me sometimes. "Okay, Vishal, there are no more digits to be added on that." Those people are also managing other people's money. So the call is yours, Ravi.
Yes, Vishal. It really is a psychological game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Learner Freak is asking how to start job journey in trading, how and where to start.
So, I would not answer this question immediately. Maybe I will put up a thought in our mind, Kapil. We will get
Mhm.
a someone from a prop book.
Okay.
And how did he started his trading journey?
Mhm.
Okay, job as a prop trader. And
Okay.
maybe we can ask a lot of questions to him. Okay,
Mhm.
what helped him in the prop book, getting a job into the prop book? What kind
Mhm.
of strategies does he run? So, for our ask me anything, I think so we have got few guests that I can call them and ask them. So that let that person answer those questions. I think so that will be even better.
Oh, okay. Okay, Vishal. Uh, and we have a question from Ashish Khariwal
Mm.
for selling straddle. How to get best pricing of pair?
I could not understand the question. Kapil, you?
Oh no, for selling. He's
Ashish, maybe you want to, elaborate on question. Until that point of time, we will take another question because we could not understand pricing of pair. What does it mean? So just if you can elaborate more on question, we'll take
he,
it
he
once
has
we have it.
elaborated, I think,
Okay.
once more for option buying or for option selling, how to get allotted on best premium price, some algo manual way.
Allotted to get best premium price. Maybe okay. If I've understood your question correctly, you're talking about more of execution. So if you're trading one lot, two lot, five lot, 10 lot, I don't think so. You have to, didn't, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. But if you go to 100 loss or 200, then you can start thinking about execution algos. If I'm selling a straddle, say on the put side, you keep on bidding. You don't put the trade. You be your best bidder. The minute you get a order on the put side, you hit the market order on the call side. So you are actually saving a slippage at one side of the execution. That's what I wanted to understand. Kapil, there was one more question from a gentleman, Manoj, who is trying to ask this, is not able to put it on YouTube. So I'll take that one.
Okay.
What stop loss would you recommend for option sellers on Thursday after 1 p.m.? So Manoj, I think so. To answer your question, as I told you, you can have an aggressive way of trailing your stop loss by 10 is to 2, 10 is to 10. Matlab if option premium moves up by 10 points, you move up by 10 points. Say 5 is to 5. In our strategy, funnily, we don't put stop losses on Thursday. We don't trail the stop losses. And we have a double stop loss days.
Mhm.
But when we backtested our system on Thursday, the trailing doesn't actually make sense. And I'll tell you why. First of all, we are doing a point only trailing. We don't do percentage based trailing. So now what happens is on Thursday, the premiums are very low. Like Nifty, I would get what, 30, 40 rupees. Okay. And the premiums are very low. So what happens is if the market starts going down and if I put a 5.5 trail or 10, 10 trail, anyways, there are no hardly any trailing. But because the market is going down on Thursday and then there is a gamma spike, it takes out our stop losses and then again goes back to become zero. So when we backtested those numbers, we realized that it is actually better not to trail on Thursday. Just keep our stop losses constant and let it be that way. But again, your risk, you have to backtest your ideas and everything to take it from there.
Okay, yes, Vishal. We have a question from Bhavesh. Some strategy or thoughts on positional option selling weekly. Some adjustment on strangles, iron condor.
So the second question, I will wait for Kapil Dhama to come and ask them because he's the master when it comes to the adjustment. We don't do adjustments. We are very clean saying that okay, we will put actually Nitish and the team has actually spoiled us by following the discipline to the core. So we don't have adjustments in our strategies. What some strategies on positional option selling weekly? uh, Kapil, do you have anything on this? Because I don't have anything on this because we are 90% our option strategies are intraday, only 10% we carry overnight. But
Yeah,
we have did talk about one of our overnight strategy called as OTS, overnight trend following system or something like that, which was on Traders Carnival and it was there in Eland market. So you may want to take that out.
yeah, but it is a STBT kind of a strategy,
Yes,
uh,
not a
not.
positional. Yeah, fair enough. So we don't have any positional strategies, Bhavesh. Sorry about that.
Yes. Okay. Uh,
Oh, there are so many questions still left. Huh?
yeah, yeah, we have so many questions and time is just about to be over. King
Suggest
Khan,
some good reversal system to explore. Wow. I don't have the answer. But, you know, if you put a gun to my head and still ask me what is a good reversal system to explore, maybe a combination of RSI and Bollinger Band. Okay, maybe I'll use a screen and obviously I cannot backtest this right now. Maybe a discretionary trader would be able to do that. I'll just open up a paint.
Okay.
Let me know when you are able to see the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I'm able to see the screen,
Okay.
Vishal.
So something like this is the Bollinger Band. This is your upper Bollinger Band. Now assuming in the first flip, okay, the market was closing below the Bollinger Band, then it went up and it came down, but did not closed. Did not closed. Okay, let's make it even more interesting. And you will have this kind of bars. Okay, trust me, I have seen this. Okay, something like this happens, and there is something called as 14 period RSI, which does something like this. Okay, the closing outside the band, and the once you have a fractal or a swing bottom, or maybe you would have this something like this. Okay, when you have a swing bottom defined, you have a swing bottom defined, and you have a swing bottom defined and a swing bottom defined. Here you can see the market made a new low, but here market made a new high. So once there is a breakout of an RSI or even the price swing, you want to keep it on whatever you wanted, this becomes your buy trigger. Whenever RSI peak goes up and it goes above, this is a very good reversal system, and maybe one of the days we'll try to put it not on the AMA, but we will have some concept related trading on our YouTube channel. So guys, if you are not subscribing to the YouTube channel, hit the bell icon and put the follow us, so that way you will know that there is a video that we are putting it out.
Yes, yes, Vishal.
Stop sharing my screen. Yes.
Yes. Uh, Aditya Kulkarni is asking, can India VIX rise in rising market due to short squeeze or short covering in panic?
um yes, I will say, Aditya, yes, it can rise, but I had remember in one of the days, 2018 or 17 or 18, I think so, because I have been under this philosophy in the past that when the market crash, only that time the volatility increases. Okay, and that's what the textbook also teaches us most of the time. Textbook tells us that market, the VIX will top out when the market bottoms. It is the other way around. Okay, VIX does not decide where the market will go. It just tells you the mean reversion tendency. But if you go on the purest form of what is VIX, okay, and the purest form of VIX is uncertainty. If there is an uncertainty on the upside also, like
Mhm.
when there was an election in UP, market was going up. Okay, market was hoping that BJP will win, but still there was a lot of uncertainty in that win, and the VIX was also going up. So there could be instances when the market is rising because of the short covering. Usually in short covering, when the market goes up, the VIX will tend to fall, but when there is uncertainty, not the panic selling or the short covering. Okay, but there is an event that is lined up which is uncertain. On the positive side, the market may go up, but the VIX also goes up.
Okay, yes, Vishal, very well told on this. And
So
Jagdish
we
is
are
asking,
left with last few minutes, so we want to keep a lot of questions for our other guests also. So, so we'll try
uh,
to take a few more questions and then we'll do that. Yes.
okay, okay, Vishal. Hi, Vishal. Many people say you need multiple strategies. I'm trading single strategy from last 7 months and it's going best and sailing through drawdown. Capital 30 lakhs. Do I really need more strategy?
Brilliant question, Jagdish. Are you going to stick to 30 lakh rupees? If answer is yes, then yes, you can do that. If no, then obviously at one point of time you will break down. When your capital starts increasing, that the notional amount will start hitting you. I know a very good friend of mine that we did the chat with systematic trader with him, logical trader, right?
Yes.
Where he was a purely an option buyer player. The
Mm-hmm.
minute his capital, and he always told me, like, I remember, that I will always try to stick to this single strategy. But as the amount increases, the psychology of that absolute amount, and it may vary from person to person, trust me, there is no fixed number that I
Mm-hmm.
can tell you or you will know. But at one point of time you will break. At one point of time that drawdown will break you, and that is the time you will start thinking about that should start looking at the multiple strategy. Yeah, Kapil, you are saying something.
Yes. Um, yeah, it is more of a psychological point, isn't it, Vishal? Means
Yeah, yeah.
you go through drawdown. I think you may need more diversification.
And maybe you can scale up to 3 cr, okay, Jagdish, and you still end up trading that one system. But
Mm.
somebody like me, once I go above 1 cr, 2 cr,
Mm.
that absolute amount start playing in my mind. So we diversify.
And one more thing I would like to highlight, Vishal, is that 7 months is a small time to decide that you stick only with the same
Yeah, that
system.
is also a good point. That's a very good point, Kapil.
Yes, Vishal. So it's already 12. So should we
Yep.
close for the day?
Yes, we will close for the day, guys. I think so. Thanks for, you know, asking a lot of questions, and I'm hoping that we'll take few of those questions. Next week we will have another, ask me anything. We'll try to get something with Kapil as well. Obviously, this was an unavoidable situation, but I hope that you spend your 1 hour was worth today, and I hope I was able to add, and me and Kapil both were able to add a lot of values to what you do right now. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. We'll meet next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.